Leader Lanza sat in his suite at State House, conferring with his subordinates. It hardly seems possible, Officer Magnan, that so many people could have slipped through your fingers without help from the military. You say both the Hachnovic twins have disappeared? Yes, Leader. And how many people from the Institute? 6, Leader, but it didn't do them any good. We got them, all right. But you found no bodies. They wouldn't have bodies after we got through with them, Leader. You're quite certain, Officer Magnan, that all the fugitives were destroyed? Lanza looked tired, and his officers noted in him a lack of firmness, an indecision to which they were not accustomed in a leader. Say, those babies never had a chance, Leader. We picked up their roboplanes somewhere over Kansas, and we shot them out of the air, just like ducks. They didn't even fire back. They just crashed, burned, disintegrated. They won't give you any more trouble. Why, we even picked up the remains of Doc Wong's wristwatch in that old beaten-up pencil case of his. He flung them on the desk. Lanza fingered the charred and molten relics. That will do, Magnan. I'll call you when I need you. Say, ain't you feeling well, Leader? You look kind of green. That will be all, Magnan. As you say, Leader. Lanza shoved aside the charred remnants and spread out the papers waiting for him. The unimportant, miscellaneous notes accumulated over the years by Hudson, Farway, and Haslam, and the unreadable notebook of David Wong. He sighed and looked up as his secretary entered. I'm sorry to disturb you, Leader. You look tired. The funeral this morning was quite an ordeal, and so much has happened in the last 3 days. Well, I thought you ought to know that strange reports are coming in. Some of our most prominent citizens have disappeared. We're trying to trace them, of course, but... Anything more? Those rumors about Blue Martian are cropping up again. Yes, and that old man you asked me to bring from the Vermont quarries, the one who was detained for illegal study of the Coptic language, well, I guess the excitement of his release was too much for him. He died of a heart attack when he was being taken to the plane. Lanza sighed. Very well, that will be all. Alone at last, he looked sadly through the pages of David's notebook, at the tantalizing curls and angles of the Coptic letters, cryptic symbols of a discovery which prevented a man from growing old, while no one could read them now. That secret was dead, along with its discoverer, because, in this world, no study was permitted without a practical end in view. And perhaps it was just as well. Could any man be trusted, he wondered, to deal wisely with a power so great? After closing the notebook, he dropped his head into his hands. How his head ached. He felt cold, suddenly, and his whole body began to shake with a hard chill. He lifted his head, his vision blurred, and suddenly he knew. He had Blue Martian fever. Teeth chattering, he paced wildly about the room, puzzling things out. Trying to remember that booster shot, and then he realized the amazing truth. David Wong had given him a chance. He had inoculated him with the seeds of immortality, given him a chance to help right the wrongs of this categorized world, and now he was alone in a world of mortals. David and the others had been annihilated, and he was left to live on, alone. He staggered towards his private apartments. He sank into his chair as his secretary once again ran into the room. With a supreme effort, he controlled his trembling. "Yes?" "Leader Lanza, another report." "Just a minute," said Lanza, trying to bring his eyes into focus on the excited girl. "I'm in need of a rest. As soon as you have gone, I shall retire into seclusion for a few days. There are to be no interruptions. Is that clear? Now proceed. There's a new epidemic of Martian fever, reported where one never was before." He stirred tiredly. "Where now?" "South America. Somewhere in the Andes. I think we'll have just one category after this," said Lanza dreamily. "Category Phoenix." "What did you say, leader?" His thoughts wandered. No wonder Magnan's men found no bodies. The planes they shot down were roboplanes after all, and it was easy to plant in an empty seat a man's wristwatch and his bulky leather pencil case. David and the others were safe now. They were free and had enough time to plan for the new free world. "What did you say, leader?" the girl repeated, bewildered. "Nothing. It doesn't matter." He frowned painfully and then shrugged. "On second thought, I may need to be away longer than a week. If anyone asks for me, say I'm on an aimless tramp. I've always hoped that someday I might earn the right to a free choice." "But you're the leader," said the girl in astonishment. "You're entitled to all the free choices you want." He lifted his twitching head, smiling wanly. "It would seem that way, wouldn't it? Well, whether I am or not, I think I've really earned a free choice. I wonder," he said in a wistful voice, "whether the climate in the Andes is hospitable."